Capcom, you thought you were going to dodge me. You thought that you were going to hide behind Marvel and their excuses for not putting in characters that they obviously need for this game. You thought you were going to dodge me from slaying you guys, but you're the guys behind this game. You're the guys pulling the strings around, even though technically Marvel is the puppeteer, you are the puppet. And you, even if the puppeteer does, kind of have complete control over certain things, you still have the obligation to make those final decisions and those final character cuts for your side of the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to a lovely top 10 with your boy, the Supreme B-Man, as I introduce my top 10 characters that Capcom forgot, or at least they thought you forgot. At number 10 is Akuma. Akuma is one of those characters that Capcom tends to pull out every once in a while, or if not, when their character roster isn't doing so well. I mean, look at Street Fighter V. Everybody complained about a lot of the characters that came out from the start, and guess what? Akuma came in later down the road, and now everybody's happy. Well, I'm pretty sure, considering that he's both in Street Fighter V and in Tekken 7, it's without a shadow of a doubt that Akuma will soon be here. Either a regular, ordinary Akuma, Street Fighter V Akuma, or maybe even Cyber Akuma from the Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter game. At number 9 is Nyle. Nyle. Either way, however you pronounce her name, I hope that you can remember this character, because I remember this character very well. I remember seeing trailers and then even seeing gameplay for this game. It had that dystopian type of Ghost in the Shell type look to it. I mean, she is a very unique character. I mean, honestly, you guys have to remember of the 2013 cover of this character. Remember that, when everybody was like going all up in arms and going crazy for this game when they saw that cover? I mean, damn, girl. Honestly, this was not a bad game at all that Capcom was able to produce. This is actually a pretty technically good game. Solid, story, pretty good controls here and there. I mean, it wasn't perfect by no means, but at the end of the day, it wasn't bad. And it's one of those types of characters that I think Capcom forgot about, or at least they thought that you forgot about. But we all remember who she is, and she would have been a great character to implement into Infinite. I mean, how hard is it to remember a character that literally has the word remember in the title of her game? I mean, seriously, Capcom. Number 8 is Rouge from Power Stone. I don't know who was at the head of Capcom. I don't know who was at the desk when they, finally got the okay to do this game. But the concept of Power Stone versus the Infinity Stones from Marvel was a concept that was right there. The script was there. I mean, who literally decided to say, nah, we don't need to bring back those old ass characters from Power Stone. Nobody cares about them. Nobody remembers those characters. But yeah, everybody remembers Chris Redfield. Oh yeah, everybody remembers Firebrand and Arthur from Ghost and the Goblins. I mean, we haven't forgot about those characters because they keep getting put into this game. But really, Rouge would be one of those characters that I can see being put in here. Either her or Edward Falcon. One of the two. I honestly pick Rouge for the fact that there's a lack of female talent in this game. Sure, there's a few females here and there, but just a few, not like a bunch. And honestly, Rouge would be perfect for this game because of the fact of her ability to her fortune telling abilities, and of course when she power changes, he turns into this exotic flaming dancer wielding fire, and every time she stomps, kicks, or even throws her fireball projectiles, your opponent is pretty much cindered. And no, I'm not talking about Cinder from Killer Instinct. I mean, literally, they're burnt to a crisp. Next up is Cody from Street Fighter. Now, if you're gonna put in Mike Haggard, at some point, some way, you either have the option of putting in Hugo, Poison, Guy, or, and without the shadow of a doubt, Cody. These characters right here are the top 4 characters in my opinion. I think there was also Karine that was part of Final Fight as well. She's a very mainstay, but I honestly, out of those characters, Cody has to be the top one for the simple fact this dude has been sitting in jail for like forever now, and I think it's about time to let him go. I mean, he's just sitting there waiting on Capcom to say, hey, we got another game for you to play in. And obviously Cody would be like, okay, I'm gonna break out of jail, do this, and then come back. No, it's time to release him. It's time to let go of his sentence, pay his due. He paid his dues now. Please bring back Cody. I need that guy in this game. If he's not going to be in Street Fighter 5, if he's not going to be in the Akira game, then go on ahead and just put him here, because, you know, I think Capcom needs it right now for their side of the roster. At number 6 is Dimitri Maxoff. I've already stated before in another video that I had Dimitri Maxoff at least close to my top 5 characters, and he's here at number 6. Because Dimitri Maxoff is a very unique vampiric type of character. Sure, there's Morgan, and you know, she's been a mainstay within the franchise of Marvel vs. Capcom, and pretty much in every single versus game there is, Morgan has always been there. But Dimitri Maxoff has always been in Darkstalkers. He has never been outside of that realm. There was one particular, you know, crossover game, but that was like a Capcom crossover fighting game with other Capcom property games. It really didn't, you know, 100% involved other games, other franchises like Marvel. And I think the character model would look beautifully. I think it would look very unique. I think a lot of people would use Dimitri Maxoff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He has super strength, flight. He can shoot projectile bats at you. And not only that, I think one of the coolest things that I think needs to happen, that I think really honestly won't happen, is his ability to turn just about any dude into a female. I think a lot of people would be like, whoa, but it wouldn't be a big deal. I think considering that the fact that he has that ability, it would be very unique and very cool. I mean, imagine him going up against the Hulk and he turns Hulk into She-Hulk for like a good minute, and then he just, you know, preys upon Hulk in his weak state because he's shocked that he got turned into a female. I mean, or even Tony Stark. I mean, it happened in the comic books, so why can't it happen in this game? Or heck, if Loki even becomes available later on, he is another one. So why not, Capcom? You know, that idea is right there for the taking. Even though they're not going to take in liberties or take in any chances at trying to do something like that, I think Dimitri Maxoff needs to be in this game just purely because he's just that, he has that Count Dracula, Akuma look to him that I really like a lot. A villain, a hero, call him what you will. He's just a bad dude. At number 5 is Okami. I don't know what happened when it came to choosing characters from the already established Marvel 3 and then taking those characters and recycling them and retooling them and putting them in this game. But how in the world did Okami miss that opportunity? Did she not turn in her application at the front desk? Or was it the fact that she wasn't willing to beg and sit down like Capcom wanted her to do? Or maybe it's because she doesn't fit the art style or the movie quality that Marvel Infinite is trying to be like. Whatever excuse that you try to make, I mean, if that's the case, then why is Mega Man here? It's not like he's high quality, realistic or anything, or Zero or Sigma. They're really cartoony when you really look at them closely. They're not that realistic to me. So how is it that Okami missed the opportunity to be put into this game? I don't know. I honestly think she was a very unique character. I love her video games. There's a huge fan base around Okami, and I think she needs to come back. Hopefully, if DLC is the case, then so be it. But honestly, I shouldn't have to pay for a character that already exists within the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise, honestly. So just put her in as free DLC, Capcom, and call it a day. I want my dog back. At number 4 is Leon Kennedy. I don't know in the absolute world. How in the hell did they just say, you know, there's Jill Valentine, there's Wesker, there's Chris Redfield, and then there's Leon Kennedy. Out of those group, we have to go for the guy that's obviously really buff, really strong, and can punch boulders, and has already established himself within the Marvel franchise. So let's just put Chris back in again. What? You know, between Wesker and Chris and Leon, I think Leon is the one that stands on top. He's been there since the first Resident Evil game. He's been going through this entire Outbreak bullshit since the get-go, like I've already stated. I just have to point that out. But this dude is begging to be put into a game like this. The fans want him. Everybody want to see what he can do. He doesn't have to be big and buff. He doesn't have to, you know, scream out the bad guy's name 100 times. And he doesn't have to punch a damn boulder to prove his worth. Honestly, I think, you know, Chris Redfield, he's a cool character, I guess. But there's nothing else for Chris, in my opinion. Leon can do exactly what Chris can do. If you want Leon to have a whole bunch of weapons and stuff, so be it. Make that the case. I don't want to see a character skin of Chris Redfield trying to look like Leon Kennedy just so Capcom can be like, well, you got your Leon. That's just basically a middle finger to anybody who's a huge Leon Kennedy fan of the Resident Evil franchise. And honestly, Chris Redfield doesn't deserve to even be put back in here. He already looks like a joke from the start in the story mode. At number 3 is Laura from Street Fighter V. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. I put Laura in this particular top 10. Yes, I did. I put Laura here for not just because she's a beautiful woman. It's obvious. She's beautiful. She has a pretty face, nice hips, a nice butt, and just big old eyes that we obviously just love looking at. I mean, there's nothing absolutely wrong with Laura. I just think that little bit of sex appeal is what this game needs a little bit. She's fun, she's energetic, she's willing to, you know, get into battle, wanting to constantly fight, and, you know, she has these Blanca-like moves that, you know, obviously Ono loves for sure. And I think, considering that the fact that Street Fighter V isn't for the Xbox One, even though technically it's for the PC, which is pretty much Microsoft products, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But still, this Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighting style badass female is more than enough for me if she was a shoe-in for this game. I know some of you guys may not like that. I know some of you guys think there might be other females that might be good candidates. That's why the comment section down there exists. So if you don't like Laura being at number 3, I'm sorry. For those who really do like Laura being at number 3, you're welcome. At number 2 is Ashura from Ashura's Wrath. Okay. I talked about Leon Kennedy. I talked about Okami. I've talked about Akuma. I've talked about characters who exist within the Capcom universe, you know? I've talked about characters that either have been there from the get-go, or characters that need to be put into Infinite, or characters that absolutely for sure had their foot in the door since they, were put on the shelves at GameStop. Ashura from Ashura's Wrath is one of those characters that I have been waiting to see in a crossover fighting game like this one. This game needs Ashura. I don't want to see skins of Ashura, like Ryu dressing up like Ashura from Ashura's Wrath, and yet again Capcom just stiffened all the fans of that particular character or anything. I want this character being put in here. He has gone through the amount of crap that Kratos himself from God of War would tip his hat off to. He is a great fighter. He's a godlike entity, and his abilities, his strengths, and everything else in between, just begs for him to be put in this game. Sure, he might be a little overpowering compared to some of the characters on the Marvel side, but that's just the point, okay? We're trying to even up the score here. When you look on the Marvel side, they got these ultra super powered beings that can move freaking planets and crap and alter reality, while Capcom just got a bunch of, random miscellaneous characters that are either Street Fighters, vampires, little knights, or bat dragon things, and this one guy who can constantly punch a boulder. I mean, I'm not going to let that go. That's just going to be a thing from here on out. So I think Ashura deserves to be put in this game by any means necessary. His game is a solid game. If you love beat 'em ups, if you love those God of War like type of hack and slashing type games, then this is the game for you. This is what you need, and this is what you're gonna get. So Capcom, make Ashura part of this game soon. Now for the honorable mentions, and oh boy, we got quite a few of these, so hold on tight. And finally, at number 1 is Captain Commando. Yes, I picked Captain Commando for a few reasons here. First off, he's a classic character of the arcades. And he's also a classic character of Marvel vs. Capcom. He's been there since the first Marvel vs. Capcom. He's been there in 2. And I think he really honestly deserved to be in 3. And considering with Infinite, I think they need to have him in here. With all the captains in this entire game, I think Captain Commando deserves the respect of being part of that captain entourage that this game obviously has. If that's the case, then just call him Commando. You know what I mean? It's not like Spencer's honoring the, Bionic Commando side of him. He's just called Spencer, and that's it. So if anything, bring in Captain Commando. He has a ninja, he has a mummy, he has a baby in a robot suit by Jovius Rex. Let this dude be put into Infinite at any point, at any cost. He is a mainstay within the Capcom universe, okay? He's just about as big or as notable as, so say, some of the Street Fighter characters. You know what I mean? He was there when the side-scrolling beat-em-ups were going on back in the day. He's a classic, okay? And Capcom knows this. Everybody that's watching this video knows this. And heck, I really do want to see Maximilian. If you don't know him, check him out. Link in the description. But I really want to check out a sequel to Maximilian's Captain Commando Part Dude. I really want to see that. If you haven't seen it, once again, link in the description. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my top 10. If there was any characters, by any means, any characters that I missed, then please put them in the comments below. I apologize if I didn't have certain characters that you might like, but once again, that's why the comments exist. I want everybody to be on board with this, to put down your list, put down your characters that you want Capcom to put into Infinite, because this game is not looking 100% done, and it's not looking 100% good either. And really and honestly, so anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my top 10. If there was any characters, by any means, any characters that I missed, then please put them in the comments below. I apologize if I didn't have certain characters that you might like, but once again, that's why the comments exist. I want everybody to be on board with this, to put down your list, put down your characters that you want Capcom to put into Infinite, because this game is not looking 100% done, and it's not looking 100% good either. And really and honestly, I want more from it. I want to see a better character roster than what we got right now. So, post your comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and if you want more, subscribe, hit the little bell, because I'm trying to post out a lot of videos here on out. And share this video, spam this video to Capcom, spam this video to Marvel, anybody that's willing to listen to this dude's voice for, so 20 minutes or so about the characters that he put on this list, and to get the word out that Capcom needs to make this game right, okay? So anyways, guys, I will see you in the next top 10 and in the next set of videos. Peace.